Hi, I'm Alexandru Ionut Budisteanu. I'm from Romania. I am from a city called Hackerville, which is theoretically the cybercrime capital of the world, but over there we're building affordable pick-and-place machines that can help millions of makers for turning their electronic prototypes into products, into reality.
So how was the journey from Hackerville to India been? How did you make it?
It's interesting. We share a lot of common things because Romania is not a very rich country. We are in the Eastern Europe, and we have like a mixture between maybe Oriental culture and Romanian, Latin cultures. And it is quite interesting because I was hoping all the time to go also in India. I've been many times in Asia, but that's my first time in India. Yeah.
Okay. So how was the Ink talk? What did you share with the people?
It was interesting. I talk about my passion. I hope so. I send my passion to everybody and for computers, and to talk about what we are struggling in Romania over there. What is our purpose? How we started, and that it's not rocket science. It's just very simple stuff. You just need to dedicate yourself for building stuff and hoping that in one day you can change the world.
Okay. So the theme of Ink is disrupt. So how much of a disruption do you think you have caused in your field?
I'm not very sure. I'm just the guy who was building something, and after that I built a website and I saw that there is an entire need for those kind of similar machines like VisionBot we are building. And we receive a lot of emails from people interested, and they ask us, hey dude, are you also willing to manufacture the machines in a larger amount for us in order to be interested and to buying your machines?
Okay.
And so I'm not very sure about the disrupt part. I'm looking only to manufacture the machines, and I started as a challenge, solving a challenge of mine. The challenge was for turning my electronic prototypes into products, and the other solution on the market were very expensive. So I just gave this idea, and after that I saw there is an entire community on the internet that they have the same problem like mine.
Okay. How much of a big role does the internet play? Because you were in your own lab making your own stuff. So how much did the internet help? Because one of the most interesting things that we saw was more than 15% of your traffic came from India.
Yeah.
So how much did it help?
Yeah, actually Romania is mostly a software-based country. So most of Romanians, even electrical engineers, they move to software because software is very easy to do and it's very cheap. You don't need machines, you don't need electronic equipment in order to make a product, and you can make the next Google or Facebook from a laptop or something like that, and you don't need huge factories. So it was very hard for us in order to be focusing only on Romania or the European European market, because in Europe there are not a lot of factories that build electronics. Mostly there are in Germany or maybe other Western countries, but not in the eastern part. So I just launched the website in English. Now I have some translations in Arabic, in French, in Romanian, in a few other languages. Actually, somebody was willing to translate in Hindi, but in the end he was very busy. Maybe I'll find somebody else.
Of course, you'll find someone here.
And we are living in a globalized society. So Romanians, we are a very small population. There are only 22 million of Romanian speakers, and only 80 million living in our country, and so automatically the potential is outside of Romania. But also our first customers were actually from Romania, because we were willing, and we had this idea that if there are some mechanical problems, we will ship them by our cars, and then I can go and fix them and understand what were the problems behind our first units. And after that we were willing to sell it outside because we're not very sure, being our first product, and also I'm a computer scientist guy, not harder stuff.
So what advice would you give someone who just wants to start making stuff without depending on large companies or large funding?
So actually in my speech it was follow your passion, but actually lead your passion. Nobody's born with a passion. If I was I was born like 200 years ago, for sure I was not interested in computers. Maybe I was like a soldier, maybe I was like a mathematician, a physics guy from Europe, or like a literature writer. So lead your passion to do something useful to the society. And after that, working on making a proof of the concept of what you are building, and build it for yourself, not for making money or for selling the product. Making it for yourself, and find something that you find a problem for what problem you have.
Okay.
Because if you discover a problem and if you make a solution to that problem, automatically I guarantee you there is an entire community that they have a need for a solution for that kind of problem. And if you have a very good solution, then automatically there is a lot of interest from that community to have your solution on their table. That's very important. So, for example, we didn't start with any kind of funding. I actually funded most of my projects by myself, or the contest, or the awards I receive in different contests, international contests.
Okay.
And actually, I was willing to spend like $55,000 money that I was actually winning from contests in order to buy just one machine.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking that I will buy that machine, that very expensive pick and place machine, but I'm not a big corporation.
Yeah.
So I will not be able to sell over the night millions of units only using that kind of big machine.
Okay.
So I got this idea of, what if I can use the technology from the 3D printers and find a solution for affordable pick and place machines using the same technologies. This is what actually makers they do. They think they find a problem, mostly their problem. They are taking to like a solution. They test the solution. They do like many different prototypes, because a maker is trying to solve a problem that was not solved by somebody else. There is, creativity. That is actually what happens in the maker space.
Okay.
And most of the corporation, they would just employ like 100 people just working to one kind of problem, when somebody actually, one guy actually find it a clever solution. The makers, they have to do by themselves. But the most problem is the most interesting thing is to start something, building it, and not trying to sell it. Try to build by yourself, and automatically, post some, do it yourself on the internet, and after that, try to manufacture your stuff for a great amount. And if there are people interested to have your solution, they will have it. They will be eager to have your solution. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.